to start off, I want to bring it all the way back to 1997. Club Columbine and Lakewood Fury combined. What was the prompted this combination?
Geez, you're dating me back a long ways. You know, this Lakewood Fury was a club north of us. We were located in Littleton, and predominantly we were a strong boys club. They were a strong girls club, constantly fighting over players and pushing back and forth and recruiting. And we thought, what the heck, let's combine efforts and try and create a dominant club in the Colorado area.
And that's exactly what you did, created a dominant club, and you named it the Rush. Why Rush?
Don't ask me, ask Dave Dingerink. He was a coach in our club, a very creative gentleman. He came up with this name. I love it because it has so many meanings to it. It has some action, and I like that it's one syllable and you can do some fun things with it. But it's become a pretty strong name in soccer in the United States.
So you say that it brings up some meanings to you. What are some of those meanings that Rush come to mind when you think Rush?
Well, shoot, you know, it has action. It has almost a connotation from the early '60s, the '70s of, you know, an adrenaline, and I think that's what kids like. You know, you got an adrenaline out there, and it feeds you, and you work off of it. So the name has got a good connotation, a good synonymous connection with the sport.
You talk about the dominance, and really on the girls' side, 11 national championships. And then 2003 comes along, and you think of this grand idea. You got on a ledge, and you're like, let's expand. Let's go to Virginia Beach. What was the thoughts behind that?
Well, you're going to think I'm crazy, but we did very good in the United States, but there's no chance you could compete with the rest of the world. If we wanted to play against Bayern Munich or Manchester United, we needed a bigger player base. So we started thinking about how can we combine with clubs around the country. And our goal was to have 50,000 kids by 2020, and we're closing in on that number. And sure enough, the bigger the base, there's talent there. And you'll find it anywhere. You'll find it in, you know, the streets of Brazil and the beaches of Africa. And the bigger the base, the more chance of you finding that player. So that was our concept. I think we're at 38,000 kids now. We're closing in on that number 50. And sure enough, there's some darn good players that are playing pro right now.
It's a cool thing for me, from my perspective. I do a lot of college soccer games, and to see that a player has played for the Rush, I automatically get this thought about them.
Connection.
Yeah. And what is that to you? What does being a player in the Rush mean to you? What do you think it brings out of you as a player?
Well, you know, for me, in my you know, stage in my life right now, you know, sure, I connect with the players. I connect with you as an alumni and the players that are coming this afternoon to join forces. I get more excited when I see you join with one of your ex-players, and that excites me to say, hey, the Rush brought that together. You know, you haven't seen a person for 6 months, and you give her a big hug, and you guys got a commonality there, a denominator that brought you together, and it's the Rush game, the Rush sport.
And you're talking about closing into that number, that 50,000 that you guys wanted to reach. There's now 39 Rush clubs in the United States. There's 42 clubs internationally.
Right.
What does that bring up? What emotions does that bring up? Or how proud are you to see kids from not only all across the country, but you mentioned all across the world donning that Rush R across their chest?
You know, it's amazing. I cannot believe when I, you know, get a social piece coming my way, something from Facebook or, you know, Snapchat or whatever, and you see a kid in Brazil or Africa, and they're wearing the Rush logo, and it's just amazing to know that these kids are connected, which probably couldn't happen 10, 15 years ago, but now with emails and video and phones, these kids are being connected. It is really special.